Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good morning. This is me, Dr.هاني الحسني, and that's a course of study skills for freshman students or first year of English department students. Today, after we finish the first lecture, we talk about welcoming session and introduction to the course in case of topics, ideas, chapters, and what we will focus on. In this video, we will remind you from the beginning about some issues relatively to the class and to the course. To be in your mind for this course, you have to understand it will be under the electronic discussion and electronic platform. We use e-learning, and we could use after 1 month the Moodle for kind of quizzes. This course also it will be divided to 50 marks for the final exam and 50 marks for the quizzes and activities. So I will count 10 marks for attending and 20 marks for the quizzes, and maybe another 20 marks for kind of homework. The homework you could take like 1 week or whatever to finish it. So it will be a deadline for the homework for that course. So again, 50 marks for the activity, 50 mark for the final exam. Fine, so we have to remind you again also about the 14th week or 14 week we have for that course, study skills. And hence we need to be focused for around 28 lectures through that time. Okay, next. So to move on, this is the first slide. I show you the university, and life at university is more fraught now than when we were students. So you have to remember, when you were in the school or in the high school, there is no exact system you follow which make you move freely like the university. So the university give you a different moment. Why? Because you will be in another life. This kind of lifestyle will be under different rules. So a lot of students will have these issues like loans to take out, enormous fees to take on board. So many students, after they finish the free school time, when they study in the school, you know, the only money they have to pay for the school is only for the books, or maybe to travel or to do kind of trips here and there, but everything is free inside the school. However, in the university, the system totally different, so they have to pay money and fees for receiving the undergraduate or bachelor degree or diploma. That's why everything will be a pressure on the family and yourself. Even later, the job market is unpredictable. This is another problem which undermine or put high pressure on every student in the university. Next, we have here also, you may just want to study hard. So every student in the university will think from the first semester or the second semester or even the whole first year, I have to get high marks, I have to get good CGPA in case if I could receive repeated scholarship or eternal scholarship for the whole university life. So I could save my family money, and I could be more independent in my own life. So never lifting your head out of your books. If you want to study hard, try to follow the strategies, the good strategy for memorizing all the information, This book is designed to help you understand how to succeed at the university, but we are going to suggest ways of enjoying the university. So what I have to remind you here is to understand the point of joining the university and how I could have the positive experience that can change my life or your life into a wonderful ways. That's the most important part that we are looking for and we need from the university system. So again, when you come to university, you will be shocked, you will be a little bit maybe happy, but later on, when you understand the rules, you could be a happier student, you could be active and positive one. You have this kind of course, so I'm sure at the end you will be a little bit deeper into understanding how to receive or how to read or how to get better performance into the university. Next, also, student can follow what? So inside the classes or the lectures that doctors or your lecturers give you activities, so you could be independent learning or a kind of learner who follow the independent learning style, or you could follow the group work. So sometimes there are some courses you should work with others. It's impossible to finish kind of assignment like, let's say, a graduation project or a project that you want to submit for your doctor. You feel the doctor give you space to participate by joining or collaborating others' work. Thus, you have that opportunity to work into 5 or 4 members of a group. That's a good chance for you to increase your level of relationship and even to understand your abilities in accomplishing kind of very special work. And here we have also how you prepare for your essays. Sometimes you will be requested to write essays, reports, and even standing in front of students to present, doing presentations, and even participating in seminars somehow. You should have also analytical and critical thinking. I put one picture here when we talk about critical thinking or thinking. You could be focusing, organizing, analyzing, compiling, and generating and connecting. So in case of you need to do thinking and critical thinking, you need to have these characteristics or features. That's why when you have these features, you could move on your own work, and you could find it with the 6 elements here. When you analyze and criticize something by your own thinking, and the tips, strategies, how you move one by one by using these strategies. That's the case, and that's why what we need from the whole session, or what we need from. So to continue here with the first slice, or the slice at the beginning, sometimes we have the feelings that we need to deal with through the whole semester. So all these feelings can be dealt with. You can survive and do well. I find it hard to concentrate for long periods. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. I haven't written an essay for ages. So these questions, many students, when the lecturer in the semester or the first semester asks them to do an essay, so that kind of assignment is the first task, or it looked like the hardest task that they received for several years, and that's why the anxious and the feeling of disappointed will be there because you didn't do it before. And another comment by such a student, I'm worried because English isn't my first language. You know, many students here in Palestine, they study English as a foreign language, so for sure there is no chance for them to practice this language. And if I'm in that course, ask some students to do all the assignments, like let's say 5 pages into English language, that will be really hard for them. And what she said, she also thinks that I'm being very brave studying in English, which makes me feel strong instead of foolish. So it is the best way for us to understand English language and to practice writing as much as we can. In case if we have any more difficult future assignments, we can handle it easily without any problem, or no need for further discussion for it. And here I find it hard to concentrate for long periods. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. So that's what we focus on. I haven't written an essay, so concentration and writing is such a difficult task for so many students. Next here we have something about the spelling. One student also commenting, I'm not very good at spelling. So many students, when you ask them to write good sentences or accurate sentences in English language, they will really suffer a lot in case of choosing the letters and the exact letter inside each word, and they feel hesitated whether is it E or I or A or Y, which one is accurate. When we listen to a speaker and he said so many words, but when we write these kind of notes in our notebook, we didn't recognize exactly what he said, and we start puzzling and guessing about the exact spelling for the sentence or for the word. I'm never sure when to use a comma or full stop. I've forgotten all the rules of grammar. I'm going to use the spell checker on my computer. I've also heard that you need to build up your own dictionary of all the new words and names that you are learning. I've already bought a small exercise book to do these things. So, you know, writing in your notebook or writing in your computer, for sure, it's different. Why? Because for the computer there will be a checker. It will be helpful for you to correct yourself on time. But when you write in your own note, there is no time or there is no one who can give you the feedback except yourself when you check out the dictionary later on in your home. Next, we have 6 steps to successful study. So if I look at the steps of successful studies, we have 6 letters, and the 6 letters reflected some sentences. Let's look at the table below. We have here study techniques can be learned. Good students are made, not born. So the first part here, study techniques. So as for study techniques, how to be into successful study mode. Overview is very vital. Everybody needs the big picture, so you have to show the overview. Creativity is essential and can be developed. Creativity is essential. You have to be creative somehow in applying your assignments or homework. Somehow try to find another way in writing an essay for the novel, or writing your assignment from different angle. Communicate effectively in the correct form. So when you communicate with others, you will create a good background, and impression of you. Emotions, this about rule, dealing with the whole you is crucial. So the point of emotions, when you use your feelings with others, how or with your own book. Sometimes I open a political book that talks about political issues, and maybe after 1 or 2 chapters I stop reading it because I feel too high pressure, and I feel a little bit disappointing of what happened around the world, or I become so angry when I read something too much. And last, we have review. Without reflection there is no learning. Without reflection there is no learning. That's a good point. Without any feedback or reviewing of what I have read already, there will not be good learning point, or you will lose your concentration. So the 6 steps here, if you look at the word soccer, the soccer in general, if it is a word, it refers to football. In America, they use soccer. In our countries, we use football, but it's not about soccer, it's about abbreviation. So this kind of abbreviation or acronym, we can call it acronym because it's one word, soccer. S for study, O for overview, C creativity, and another C for communicate effectively, E for emotions, and R for review. That's what I could ask you in the final exam, or in the following or the coming quizzes. What does the word soccer mean? You have to answer very quickly. The word soccer means study, techniques, overview, creativity, communicate, emotions, and review. Later, we have here study techniques can be learned. Good students are made, not born. So if you focus on that sentence or on that kind of feedback, you will understand the techniques that you need to learn is so good, and explore key study and academic skills that you need to really do well at university. How to make sense of your course. When you teach or when you study, you will understand that there is a chemical connection. There is or there will be kind of better sense. Let's say that I have 6 courses, 1 for physics, 1 for chemistry, 1 for English. When I read English, I can have a better mood and I have a good sense for the course. Why didn't they tell us this before I left school? Sometimes you get into university and you will face so much troubles, and you maybe face a failure, and because of this maybe you leave the university. You have to be patient. Similarly, if we understand how universities work and how our courses have been put together, we'll be able to achieve more and more swiftly. So I remind you again to understand how each university works. So in Isra University, we have the system that we say we focus too much on the activities, the quizzes, and homeworks more than the final exam, because it has very deep emphasis on your performance somehow at the end of the day. Later we have such an activity. This activity you could do it when you study and when you have kind of timetable. Later on we will talk about the details about it. Activity like we have concentrate for 15 minutes, pluck at first and build up. So you know the warming up stage is very, very, very important. When you in your own room you want to study, you have at least at the beginning 15 minutes. So try to find some important point about the 15 minutes that you want to spend on. Work for half an hour every day. So you have half an hour. You have to do some kind of working. Make some time to study every weekday. So you need to study every day in case if you have any urgent issue at the university. Turn off your phone. So when you get into study, try to leave your phone away from you, so your concentration will be higher than before. Write something every day, your reflective blog. Like, let's say you have to write in your Facebook, Twitter, or to write something in your blog if you have a blog, and develop your memory. For sure, when you read, you will learn more, and when you learn more, it means your memory will be increased. Discover if you like working alone or with people. So that's how you will discover, or you find it out through the university projects and courses. Discover if you like working with noise or quiet. Some students, they prefer to open some songs if they want to concentrate, and some they just prefer very, very quiet place in case of concentration and study. Discover if you like working in the morning, afternoon, evening, night. So what time what time fits you when you study. Some people, they couldn't study anymore in the day or morning, they just keep it to night time. And then use deadlines to keep you on track. So when we talk about deadlines, sometimes in the university you have to remember the deadlines. You have to have your own note in case you forget one of these timing or in these deadlines date. So you will be or you will have a reminder somehow in your Google or computer or notebook. Other activities, if English isn't your first language, join an academic English class, buy an academic dictionary, and buy exercise book and make your own subject dictionary. Write new theories, words, phrases, post it and stick them up all year round. Try to also what we call find them, try to read these kind of words from time to time. Prioritize, make list. What are the priorities of your courses? Let's say you have 6 courses, 5 courses. What are the priority? Which one you have to start, and start with the hardest one. And then we have sometimes very organized, sometimes sit amongst pile of work. So try also to organize yourself. And last, keep a small notebook with you. Without this notebook, you will not remember exactly what you want to do through the whole day. So it's good activity to practice day by day until you fix everything you have. And last, we could say thank you for your all listening. Please remember, you need to read harder and harder for that course, at least when we remind you about study skills. So the skills that you want to acquire, we will give you some activities from the next week. We ask you to activate some issues in your own life. So in case later on you graduate from the university and you have a positive impression of your experience, you can tell the future generation about Isra University and how it helped you to be a greater and better than before. Thank you again, and see you later.